Welcome to Finance Matters, a production of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. I'm your host, Daniel Pasley, and today we'll be talking about taxes, tax types, and also about the appeals process. And who better to speak to us than Commissioner Dr. Deloree Staple-Chambers of the Revenue Appeals Division here at the Ministry of Finance. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for coming on the program.
Thank you, Daniel.
Now, before we go into the tax types, we need to understand what is the mandate of the Revenue Appeals Division?
Okay, the Revenue Appeals Division is that independent arm of government that is set up to provide a dispute resolution mechanism for taxpayers who may have a dispute with a decision made by any of the revenue commissioners. And the revenue commissioners would be the Commissioner of Tax Administration Jamaica, the Commissioner General that is, or the Commissioner of the Jamaica Customs Agency, and the Commissioner of the National Land Agency.
Is that a new one?
It's not new. The provision existed in the legislation,
Okay.
even in the previous legislation of the Tax Appeals Department, and it was maintained in the Revenue Appeals Division Act of 2015 that persons who receive a decision regarding land valuation from the National Land Agency, if they are in dispute with that valuation, they can appeal to the Revenue Appeals Division for a review of that decision. And you know, the land valuation affects your property tax.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the tax types? Is it voluminous number of tax types, or is it just a small number?
Well, the majority of taxes paid in Jamaica can be appealed to the RAD. So we spoke about the property tax just now, specifically the land valuation that forms the basis of the calculated property tax. But you can appeal any tax that is raised under the Income Tax Act. That would include your PAYE, your individual income tax for persons who are responsible for their own filing, the corporation tax paid by companies, the general consumption tax, stamp duty, transfer tax, customs duty, and customs valuation, guest accommodation room tax, and you also have withholding tax, the telephone call tax that is paid by the phone companies. All those taxes, bauxite levy as well, and asset tax. All those tax types can be appealed. The decision relating to the liability under those principal tax legislation can be appealed to the RAD.
Could you tell us a little bit about what has last fiscal year been like in terms of the processes, or should I say the processing of these tax types? Okay.
So last year we issued decisions for 141 cases. The breakdown was that 49% of that related to income tax, so to be a combination of PAYE, company tax, and individual income tax. GCT accounted for another 35%. We also did 11% relating to customs duties and customs valuation. And we also did a 1% in terms of withholding tax. So as it relates to the outcome of those decisions, 42% were resulted in a confirmation of the decision of the commissioner, the relevant commissioner decision.
42%, that's nearly half.
Nearly half. And the other 57% resulted in a benefit to the taxpayer. So 9% of the 52 were vacated, meaning that the assessment was completely overturned. And so the taxpayer had to pay nothing new. In terms of another 37% resulted in a reduction. So the full amount that was assessed by the commissioner before was now reduced.
Right.
And the respondent, meaning the revenue commissioner and the taxpayers, also had the opportunity to negotiate a settlement, and that was about 11% of the numbers, where settlement occurs where both parties don't really have a very strong case, but there is a debt to be paid, and so they negotiate what that amount should be, and we're the ones who supervise such a negotiation. Overall, the benefit to the taxpayers last year was $442 million in reduced tax bill.
400, could you repeat that for me?
$442 million.
Wow.
In the reduction of the original assessment.
So basically it was almost a 50-50.
Yes, if you look at it in terms
rate.
of, right, 50-50 success rate. And this has been a trend over time. You may have a slight movement in either direction any one year, but basically it hovers around that 50-50 mark.
All right, Commissioner, we have to speak a lot more about the Revenue Appeals Division and the work that you have been doing over the past fiscal year, and also what some other initiatives that are coming on stream.
Okay.
So we'll see you next time for another edition of Finance Matters. I want to thank Commissioner so much for coming on the program, and I thank you, our viewers, for watching.